Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all having fun. I hope your teams are ready and set. And if not, do not worry. I'm here to talk to you about FPL, to talk about your dilemmas, solve your problems, and let's talk FPL, fellas. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, Sarthak, John, Smelly Wabbit, Abhishek, Matea, Ahmed, Blirin, Naik. Really appreciate all of you coming to the live stream. I've changed my template a little bit. I'm sorry I keep swapping it around a little bit, but I hope it's for the best, fellas. Hey Jackson, welcome to the live stream. Hey Sean, hey Joe, Aqua, all of you. Really appreciate you coming to the live stream. Sean says, "Is your team fixed for tomorrow?" Well, not yet. I actually haven't made any transfers. I'm still sticking with my plan. I'm still trying to hold on to my transfer. Not sure if I can stick to it, but I'm gonna try my best. I Today evening, actually, let me tell you my urge. I was looking through my team and I was thinking, what if Manchester United batter Crystal Palace and I don't have any United players? And then I thought, why not Wildcard? Like it's just sitting here going through my team. A crazy idea came into my mind. I like, let's Wildcard. Why not? And then I made a Wildcard team, and it looked so awesome. And I was like, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger. But you know, you know how it goes. Then the urge went away, and the light was restored, and here I am, guys. No transfers. Blairen says, "Looks good, mate. Like that clean layout." Thanks, Blairen. I keep changing it, but I hope we can get settled on one which all of you can enjoy. So hope for the best. So Matea says, "I activated my wildcard." You're not the only one, Matea. I mean, it's very tempting to use your wildcard in this game week. But we have to fight our urges. But I'm not saying it's wrong to activate your wildcard. It all depends on how you feel about your team. In the evening, I was not feeling too good about my team, especially with Kai Havertz having such a shocker in Game Week 1. Aqua says activated it as well. Guys, stop tempting me in it. I'm here to solve your problems, not multiply mine in it. Karthik says, "I'm a Manchester United fan. Do not hurry this game week. We ain't battering Palace 2-1 or 3-1. I mean, you know what, guys? When we, eye test and stats are two different things. I looked at the stats from the Crystal Palace game. Actually, Crystal Palace conceded a lot of big chances and shots to Southampton. It was just that Gaeta was on top form. That is the only reason, Crystal Palace came out of that game with a clean sheet. I mean, they were not that solid defensively as the scoreline might make it out to be. So, we need to mix eye test and stats and kind of come to a good conclusion about the match. Aqua says, "My team is looking better 100%. Yeah, of course, if you use a wildcard, definitely. Ahmed says, "Is Rodriguez a good captain option?" Ahmed, I don't think so, to be honest. I think there are better captain options than Rodriguez because just after one game, I'm not sure if we can trust him that much, right? Danford says, "How did you all do in Game Week 1? I mean, you all know how I did. I posted my video as well. But for all those who haven't watched it, I got 59 points, guys. So I'm not sure what to make of it, if you guys think it's a good score or not. But according to me, it's a decent start for Game Week 1. Sean says, "I'll not be here tomorrow. Any chance you're going to change your team much?" Sean, actually, I'm currently actually just contemplating about my team. Either I won't change it at all, or I'll just totally just rip it up. So it's kind of right now it's in the air. It's very hard for me to tell you right now, but I'll keep you updated on Twitter. Don't worry about that. Hey Kayur, welcome to the live stream. Kayur says, "Are you planning Thiago?" No, I'm not. I'm not too keen on Thiago. I think he's a wonderful player, guys. Don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, I don't think Thiago is a really attractive fantasy asset for me. So yeah, congratulations to all the fans, Liverpool fans, for getting Thiago Alcantara. He's a fantastic player, but for fantasy, in my opinion, not that good. Hey Jashan, welcome to the live stream. Jashan says, "Good. After game week one, bye bye habits. Welcome Willian, guys. Willian was an amazing, right? In game week one, 3 assists. He almost scored from a free kick as well. Arteta's press conference today, I was listening to it, and Arteta says that um, Aubameyang is still going to be the penalty taker for Arsenal. So that takes the shine of Willian a little bit for me. Joe Hale says, "Can I show you my team now?" Yeah, Joe, go ahead. Just comment your team, and I'll definitely let you know. He's been asking me in the comments in my videos, and I promised him I was gonna talk about his team. So definitely go ahead. Kayor says, Manchester United waiting for Sancho and you." I mean, I'm not sure about Sancho. If Sancho's gonna come to Manchester United, it's been a saga ever since the transfer window opened. It's been going on and on. Dortmund wants 120 euros, and Manchester United are not willing to pay it. So I'm not sure how that's gonna end. Bale or Reguilon as FPL asset, says Aqua. To be honest with you, I'm really interested in Bale. I just want to see how much he's priced at. If he's in the kind of 8.5 million category, like we've got so many players: Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, Willian, Pepe, all these guys, I would be very interested to see where Bale is placed. So if Bale is 8.5, I would be really interested in him. Depends on how he starts, obviously. Tony Cardozo says, "I was thinking of Martial in place of Werner." I was thinking about that too. I think that's a pretty good move to think about for game week 2. But when you look at game week 3, then again you think Werner's got West Bromwich away, and Werner can actually score. The way he was playing in game week 1, he was really really sharp. If his teammates had made better decisions, like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he just had to make one through ball and he was through on goal. So I think Werner was looking really sharp, and to be honest with you, that's the only reason why I'm not kind of able to make up my mind to transfer Werner out for Martial. So that's my opinion. Other than that, your team is absolutely just looking like mine. Tony, I think it's kind of a personal decision. It's very hard to say if you should transfer out Werner for Martial, because it's a long-term decision. It's not just for game week 2. If you're gonna pull the wild card in game week 3, you might as well, because in game week 2 definitely Martial is a better option than Werner. Kair says your favorite team. Kair, I'm an Arsenal supporter, so things are finally starting to look up for us. Supro says, "I have money. Should I stick with him for a few more weeks, or should I consider bringing in someone else instead, like Salah or Bruno?" So, bro, I guess you spent so much time picking your team before game week 1. There was a reason you picked Mane, right? So, I mean, you could stick with Mane. Mane always traditionally does better away from home than he does at home. Like as compared to Salah. I'm not saying that Mane doesn't have a good home record. I'm saying as compared to Salah, Mane is more potent away from home. Salah is more potent at home. And the next 4 games, I think 3 of them are away from home. So keeping Mane would not be the worst thing. But the only thing is, with this change in rule of penalty, I think there are going to be more penalties this season. The bookies are predicting, guys, 20% more penalties this season. And that's the reason we should all be going for penalty takers. In game week 1, who made the difference, fellas? Jamie Vardy. Such an appalling performance. 2 penalties, 13 points. Salah. Amazing performance, don't get me wrong. But how did he score? He scored 2 penalties, right? So the change in the rule, like the deflection, can still be counted as a handball. That's a big change in rule, my friends. So, Kair says Werner or Vardy. I mean, for long term, I'd still go for Werner. I think he looks sharp. I think he's going to score more goals. Vardy was really bad against West Brom. Don't get me wrong, like Vardy got 13 points, but he was really bad against West Brom. No shots on target, nothing before he got those 2 penalties, right? Luffy says, "Did Son to Bruno." That's a nice transfer to do, Luffy. I would love to have the chance to bring Bruno in my team in one transfer. This is the reason you don't pre-decide your transfers, my friends. What I did, I made a team and I put all my funds into my team. I thought Salah 1 game week, take him out for Bruno next game week. all is set, all is fine. And Salah goes and scores a hat trick and makes my life so hard. And now I don't know how to bring Bruno in my team because I don't want to get rid of Salah. So yeah, guys, this is FPL for you right there. Joe says, guys, let's have a look at this team, and then we'll go ahead, right? Pickford, good option. Dean, wonderful. Ailing for game week 2, very good option. Justin, fine. Burnley, Saint Maxima, Klish, Bruno, KDB, Werner, Calvert-Lewin, Vardy. I think that's a fantastic team, Joe. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a very, very good team. If I had to change something in that, I would actually change Vardy with Martial. I would bring Martial in. That would give you some extra funds to invest elsewhere, and change Vardy with Martial. Other than that, that's a really good team. So that's my opinion about it. Yeah, that's a wildcard team, of course, but that's a very good team. So, Aqua says Alex Telles might join United. Thoughts as an FPL asset? I think he's a good player, but players coming from foreign, they don't necessarily adapt the quickest, as we saw with Kai Havertz, guys. That pass by Kai Havertz became viral all over the internet. I mean, Kai Havertz was a wonderful player. Go watch his videos on YouTube. He's fantastic. But just one game, and we can easily see that people just don't straight away adapt seamlessly into their teams. Some do, some don't. Bruno adapted so seamlessly. Nobody could even think it was his first season in English football. Kai Havertz did not look like he adapted really well. Hey Siddharth, welcome to the live stream. He says, what are you thinking for this weekend? Siddharth, I'm currently in two minds. Haven't made up my mind. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. Jackson says wildcard. Jackson, I do not understand, my friend. Please, can you elaborate? So hey Buckshot, welcome to the live stream. Blurren says I'd probably swap Saint Maxima for Podence. By the way, guys, did you hear this rumor going around? Diogo Jota is gonna go to Liverpool. I mean, that's a very strange move for me, but a very good move for Liverpool. I always rated Diogo Jota as being a very good player, and if he goes to Liverpool, I think he's gonna be really good. At 6.5 in midfield, I'm not saying he's going to start every game, but that gives us an option from Wolves' team. 5.5 million Podence is going to be nailed on if Diogo Jota goes to Liverpool. So keep an eye on that one, my friends. Gonna be really interesting one. Captain Cruz says Kyle Walker-Peters to Size for Game Week 3. For Game Week 3, yeah, why not? Definitely. I think Size is a really good option. Guys, at times he was playing center forward. Can you believe that? That's crazy. He could have scored 2 goals. That was crazy. So definitely Kyle Walker-Peters to Size. I'd say yes. Subro says big hits of Game Week 2. Any guesses? I mean, I think Aubameyang is going to score against West Ham. I'm really, really hot on Martial. I think Martial can do really well. So, yeah, that could be a possibility. Naman says Jota is confirmed for Liverpool. Is he? I'm not so sure, but if Romano confirmed on Twitter, then that would be really, really good for Podence, guys. So if you're in wildcard, and if it is confirmed that Diogo Jota is going to Liverpool, guys, get Daniel Podence in your team. 5.5. I think he's a much better asset and has an attacking value than Saint Maxima. So yeah. Aqua says only the real ones know. We talked about that in Discord before. Yeah. So guys, this gives me a really good opportunity to tell you all. We have a Discord server. It's a public Discord server. Anybody is welcome to join. The link is in the description. So if you're here, if you'd like to talk more FPL, interact with us. We already have a beautiful community going there, around 80 people, 60, 70, 80 people in there. So if you want to join, the link is in the description. Join our Discord, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to this video as well. I would really appreciate that. Lincoln says, is it true that Bale is coming? Lincoln, yeah, that's true. Bale is already in Spurs. We have seen a video of him in the training ground of Spurs. So it's fixed. Bale is coming to Spurs. Absolutely. Nobody mentioning Rashford, says John. Yeah, John, that's that kind of... I was wondering why nobody's mentioning Rashford. I think one of the main reasons why nobody's talking about Rashford is that Rashford is no longer on penalties. Last season, the reason he was so good as an FPL asset because he was on penalties, right? This season he's not on penalties, so Bruno's going to be on all set pieces, free kicks, corners, penalties. That's the reason people just might think that they are being priced out of Rashford at 9.5 million. I think we need a 9.5 million asset to be more, to give us more. Of course, Raheem Sterling at 11.5 million just gives you open play goals as well. But Raheem Sterling has more pedigree than Rashford in FPL at least. So that's the reason why people are not considering Rashford. But I still think he's a wonderful FPL asset. Don't get me wrong. Peter says, "Do you have any Game Week 3 plans?" Peter, I was discussing before as well. Today evening, I was sitting looking at my team and not feeling too satisfied with my team, and I thought, why not pull the plug on the wildcard? And I was actually gonna do it, and then I was like, no, wait until after the live stream, talk to people, think about it, and then go for it. So, I have a few problems in my team. Actually, the biggest problem is I cannot get a United asset in one transfer. Like, I want Martial, but I don't want to transfer out Werner, and I want Bruno, and I don't want to transfer out Salah. So there are good problems for my team, and I have to give a hard log think about it. But I've still managed to hold my nerve and make no transfers until now. So yeah. Joel says bench is Tier, James, Virgil van Dijk, and Suchek. Joe, I think your team is pretty good. The only thing I said about it is transfer out Martial, transfer out Vardy for Martial. That's my opinion. Usman says, should I get any United players? Usman, if you can, I think you should. Wonderful. They are wonderful players. Buckshot says, Wizard, I used my wildcard. Martinez, Thais, Dean, Justin. Okay, so that's a solid defense. Midfield is Sterling, Salah, Podence, Son. Forwards, Martial, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Richarlison. Guys, he's going for 2 Everton forwards in Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Pretty interesting to say the least. Dean, so he's got 3 Everton. Buckshot, I'm just not sure, about Son for this game week. If you have a plan to move him out in game week 3, then it's fine. But if not, then I'd probably look at somebody like, and somebody like Bruno. Some if there's a way to get Bruno in your team, I would look at that. Otherwise, and I would always pick KDB over Sterling, but that's my personal preference. Don't get me wrong. Sterling is a wonderful player. My personal preference is always KDB over Sterling. So Peter says, do not pull the wild card. Definitely not. All right, Peter. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know my team is good. It's just about staying ahead of the curve. That's all it is. Remember, guys, you can't win FPL in one game week. You can't lose it in one game week. It's all about staying ahead of the curve. If you got 90 points in game week 1, do not be afraid to take a -4 and make your team even better for game week 2 so that you stay ahead of the curve. Sometimes what happens is we have 1 or 2 good game weeks, we have a good rank, and then we get scared. Do not be scared. I mean, play with resolve, play with patience, but if you need to be aggressive and you are already ahead of the others, do it, guys. Don't worry too much. Naman says Meslier could be a differential at 4.5. To be honest, I think at this moment in time, Martinez from Aston Villa, guys, Emi Martinez, the Arsenal goalkeeper, signed Aston Villa just signed him a couple of days back. I think he's a very good goalkeeper, and after the Premier League restart, he was a really solid keeper for Arsenal, and Aston Villa was really good defensively. So these two things combined, I think Martinez can be a really value pick at 4.5 million. He could be proved to be the best keeper as well. Lincoln says Vardy or Werner. Lincoln for long term, I think they are both good options. I don't think there's much to choose between them, but what I saw, the eye test from game week 1 says Werner. Vardy, other than the 2 penalties that he got, I don't think he did too much. I just could not justify him. But Werner looked really sharp, So, and he has good fixtures after Liverpool, so yeah. Aqua says, sure on Davies for your team. Aqua, I'm not sure, but I still think that this game week he'll play, and after that I'll have to think about it, because Reguilon is coming as well. He's a left back too, so I'm not sure how it is gonna go, But for this game week, I think he's gonna be fine. Jackson, I'm sorry, I've got your messages as well earlier. You're saying wildcard, but what does that mean? Please, can you elaborate? Do you want me to make a wildcard team? What's going on here, bro? I do not understand. Justin says, suggest any other option instead of Willian, as Arsenal will be having 5 difficult fixtures. Budget is 8.5. Actually, Jashan, there are not really good options. I mean, Kai Havertz we thought was one, but didn't turn out to be. Maybe Gareth Bale can come out as a good option, but we can't bank on that. I mean, if you can go a little bit down, you can think about James Rodriguez or Mason Greenwood. I think they are good options. At 7 million, Harvey Barnes is also a good option. He had the second most non-penalty XG this game week. So very, very good option. Harvey Barnes, James Rodriguez and Mason Greenwood. At 8 or 8.5, I cannot suggest any other option there. I don't think there are many, guys. If you think there are, please let me know as well. Matthias says Oba or Bruno for captaincy. Out of these two, Matthias, I think Oba. I will pick Oba because at least we know that Aubameyang is in form. He just signed a new contract and he was playing really well, right? Bruno is kind of, it's the first match. We haven't seen how Manchester United are playing, although they were in really good form post the Premier League restart. But still, I think tried and tested Aubameyang. Ishtiaq says Havertz to Fernandes. 100% Ishtiaq. If you can do that in one transfer, do it. Kai Havertz didn't look too good. Danforth. Hey guys, by the way, shout out to Danforth. He was the first on today's live stream, and I promised him I was gonna give him a shout out on the live stream, so props to Danforth. Should I do Barnes to James or Werner to Martial? As I'm considering a hit. I think I don't think you should transfer out Barnes. I think Barnes looked really good against West Brom. Werner to Martial could be more plausible as compared to the two moves. I think Harvey Barnes you should keep. Nike says, will Mitrovic shine against Leeds, or do you think Leeds defense is kind of leaky? Nike, we can go only upon what we know from previous season. Last season, Fulham played against Leeds at their home and lost 3-0, and Mitrovic didn't score against them in the away fixture. And Fulham, guys, was really appalling on the road, even in the championship. Just keep this in mind. Last season, Fulham was, I think, 10th or 11th in the championship for away goals scored. They were really strong at home, and that is the reason they came 4th in the championship. So I think it will be really difficult for Mitrovic to score against Leeds. You can't say never, right? It's football in the end. Anything can happen, So, but based on logic, based on facts, based on stats, I think it'll be hard for Mitrovic to score. Blurden says, if you want to get a United asset, I'd say that taking a -4 hit by transferring Havertz to Podence. I've already thought about that, Blurren, but I don't want to get Podence this game week since he plays against Manchester City. I've considered all the options, trust me, my friend. Van Dover says, I have both Mane and Salah. Should I replace Mane for Fernandes, or should I hold both for now? Ben, if it was my team, I would replace Mane with Bruno Fernandes. I wouldn't keep both of them. Aqua says thoughts on Zaha. Scored in 4 games in a row coming from pre-season. Has great fixtures coming up. I mean, Zaha is a really good fantasy asset. He was a really good fantasy asset before he was categorized as a forward. It reduced his attraction. But since he's a midfielder again, guys, I think at 7 million he's a decent shout. Aqua, I think he's a good shout. Ishtiaq says no Pogba. I think Pogba is fit and training as well, but I don't think he's going to start. Lincoln says Ryan or McCarthy. Based on game week 1, my friend, Ryan, definitely. Shane says definitely Werner to Martial, then switch back in game week 4. I mean, if you want to do a hokey cokey, like you transfer out one player for one game week, bring him in, but it doesn't work like that, guys. You pre-decide some moves and it doesn't always work like that. So just be careful when you go for this kind of moves. Just be careful. Sometimes some other player gets injured, somebody gets a red card, something happens, and then you're again stuck with the same player. So be careful with doing that kind of moves, right? Chopin says, why not bring out Che Adams and get 6 million and get a 4.5 million striker and use that money to get a stronger midfielder, or bring in Jimenez? I don't want to get Jimenez for this game week, Chopin, and I'm planning for Jimenez in game week 3. I'm really interested in bringing in Jimenez in game week 3. I think the fixtures of Wolves dictate that we bring in Jimenez. Joe Hale says, I changed Vardy to Martial, Hendrik for Souček, and I have 1 million for Virgil van Dijk to Trent Alexander-Arnold in 1 or 2 weeks. Joe, I think your team looks really good now. All the best for the upcoming game week, my friend. So as promised, I did your team on the live stream, my friend. So I hope you appreciate it. Braden says, understandable, but then again, Martial is playing at home against Crystal Palace, Chelsea facing Liverpool, and Adams versus Tottenham. I understand, Braden. I understand all the points, my friend. Just need to think more about my team as well. Naman says, does 4-3-4 get you more points or a 4-4-2? Naman, I think you got it wrong. There is no formation called 4-3-4. I think you meant 4-3-3, but in my opinion, over the long run, I think 4-3-3 would get you more points than a 4-4-2. Naman says, just asking. Yeah. Excuse me. Let me have a drink of water, guys. Matthias says you can buy Harrison from Leeds instead of Havertz and Adams to Martial. Actually, that could be a move I could make, but guys, don't forget, Leeds have very difficult fixtures after Gameweek 2. Sheffield away, and then a couple of really difficult fixtures. Just let me have a look at their fixtures and see which fixtures do they have. Just give me a second, guys, and I'll show you the Leeds fixtures. There you go. So they've got Sheffield away, they've got Manchester City at home, and then they've got Wolves. They're very difficult fixtures, guys. It's just that is the reason I'm just not too keen on bringing in the Leeds assets right now. I know they looked really fantastic against Liverpool, don't get me wrong, but still, you have to think about that. Blaren says just skipping the keeper. I think I missed your. Justin says thoughts on Patrick Bamford. Bamford is not a clinical goal scorer. Yes, he scored in game week 1. He took his goal really well, but he's not a clinical goal scorer. Bielsa likes Patrick Bamford, but it is not because of his goal scoring abilities. Bielsa gets goals from all over his team. Bamford he likes because he presses up front and he initiates the press of the entire team. I think Bamford is not a really great fantasy asset, to be honest. Although he did score against Liverpool, granted, right? But in my opinion, he's not the best fantasy asset. GS says league codes for money. GS, I think many league codes for money have been closed down after game week 1, so I'm not aware of any. If anybody is, guys, please let me know. Lewis Martin says, what do you think about Foden? I just want to see if he starts regularly for City. Guys, if he does, 6.5 million Manchester City midfielder, and who's capable of getting double-digit scores, he's a wonderful fantasy asset. Just needs to start. That's the only thing. I'm just kinda, I'm not sure if he's nailed on or not. Like, we know that Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, all these guys are nailed on, right? I'm not so sure about Foden. Although Guardiola praises him so much, I still want to see him start before I actually bring him into my team. Magician says best 6.5 or under forward. 6.5, I think Wilson looks really good, guys. What do you think about Callum Wilson? He performed really well against West Ham United for Newcastle, and it was just his first game. Imagine with Fraser coming back and Andy Carroll dropping out. I think Wilson gives a really good 6.5 million forward. You can go for it. Lincoln says Ryan, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Taylor, Lundstrom. That's a good one. This season I haven't seen people going for Lundstrom. Salah, Fernandes, KDB, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Mitrovic, Vardy. Again, Lincoln, just like I told Joe, I would replace Vardy with Martial. Other than that, that's a fantastic team. But if you want, you can keep Vardy. If you prefer him, again, over Mitrovic, I would go for Callum Wilson. Aqua says, with Wolves having good fixtures, Podence, Havertz, Adams, Martial. Yeah, I've had that in my mind since yesterday, The only thing is I don't want to go for Podence, and the Diogo Jota news just came out today only, right? So if Podence is nailed, yes, I can go for him. So I'll think about it, guys. Don't worry, I'll keep you updated about it. Wilson is 6.6. I am not sure. I really am so sorry, guys. I should have looked, but I'm not sure. Please let me know how much Wilson is, and we can talk about it. Peter says, nah, he's 6'7". Yeah, that's a good joke, Peter. Shopman says, came late to the live stream. What is your plan? Shopman, at the moment, the plan is to roll the transfer, make 3 transfers in game week 3, but I'm still contemplating, and I'll keep you guys updated. So no fixed plan, right? Unfortunately, the plan was to move Salah on for Fernandes, which cannot come to pass now after the hat-trick, and Salah looked really sharp in game week 1, so it's very hard for me to transfer him out. So at the moment, all the plans have, have been have had to be changed. Christian says, what do you think about captaining Harrison in this game week? I mean, to be honest with you, guys, it's just the start of the season. I don't think captaining a differential makes too much sense to me because, I only advocate captaining a differential when there is no obvious captaincy option and the big teams, they're playing against each other or they have difficult games and such. And that's the only time I advocate captaining a differential. But since we already know that we have so many wonderful options in game week 2, for example, we've got Aubameyang, we've got Martial, we've got Bruno Fernandes. So, we can actually just go for those options. Why to take a risk? In case he blanks, you're already behind all those people who actually captained people like Aubameyang and Martial. Shrikant says, hey Wiz, have 2 Liverpool defenders. What do you think? Should I stick to the plan with long term with both of them? Shrikant, I think by the end of the season, I think they'll give you enough points to justify their selection. But it depends when you are going to use your wildcard, right? If you're going to use your wildcard early, you might as well move one of them on for Dean. That would not be a bad plan if on your wildcard you can bring them back. Right? So that could be a plan, in my opinion. You can go for that. Aqua says, just checked, Wilson is 6.5. So Wilson is just 6.5, guys. You can go for Wilson if you want, and it has no price rise until now. Jeet Arya says, best Game Week 2 captain. So guys, Jeet Arya, I was just talking about the Game Week 2 captaincy as well. Aubameyang, Martial, Bruno Fernandes. I think they are the 3 standout captains for this game week. Other than that, I'm not considering any City assets. I'm not considering any Chelsea, Liverpool, or any of those guys. I'm not even, thinking about Vardy. Although he plays Burnley, I don't think Vardy has a really good record against Burnley as well. So for me, this game week, the standout option is Aubameyang, Bruno Fernandes, and Martial. If I had to rank them in order of my own preference, number 1 Aubameyang, number 2 Martial, number 3 Bruno Fernandes. So that's my opinion about it. Magician says, any tips? His team is McCarthy, Saiz, Trent, Justin, Shaw. Guys, Luke Shaw, 5 million for a nailed on United defender would be a really good option if he attacks as much as we hope he would. Ferguson, Aubameyang, Salah, Saint Maxima, Son, Bissouma, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Werner, Adams. I think we've got a pretty similar team, my friend. I don't think there's much flexibility in if you want to get in Fernandes. How are you gonna do it? That's my question, Magician. Of course, if you can get a Manchester United or a City attacker, not a City attacker, for this game week, I'd prefer a Manchester United one. In one transfer, I would say go for it. If not, it's better to wait till game week 3, possibly. Lewis says, do you think Ake will be nailed on? It's very hard to say because they're bidding for Koulibaly as well. So I'm not so sure if Ake is going to be nailed. He's 5.5, right? He's a very good option from the Manchester City defense. Guys, by the way, I would like to tell you about Laporte as well. Pep Guardiola said Laporte and Aguero are not ready to play this game week in game week 2 against Wolves. They will not be playing. So if any of you owns Laporte, you should have a contingency plan for that because Laporte is not going to play in game week 2 against Wolves. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to tell you that just in case you haven't heard about the press conference. Buckshot says, what about Donny van de Beek? I think he's a good player. I'm not even sure how he's going to play. I think maybe Manchester United are thinking about changing a formation. They are maybe thinking about playing with a diamond formation, something. Because I'm not even sure if Donny van de Beek is really a winger. He's kind of an overlap between. He can play on the wing, but he's not primarily a winger. So I think maybe Manchester United are thinking about playing with the diamond formation, and if they do, I think Donny van de Beek is really suited to play in the diamond with Bruno at the tip of the diamond. I think that's going to be a really good option. But I need to see with Donny van de Beek. 7 million. I think he's slightly overpriced. Because we don't know how he's going to do. In terms of his goals output, I think he doesn't score too many goals, right? So I think wait and watch. Thiago for 6 million, says Magician. I just think Thiago is a wonderful player. I'm not so sure if he's a really good fantasy asset, right? Thiago doesn't score too many goals, doesn't provide too many assists. Maybe if he took corners, free kicks, but in Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold already does all that, so I'm not even sure if he's gonna be on set pieces. So for me, Thiago, wait and watch, not yet. Mitesh says, Ings to Martial. Mitesh, I think it's a very good move, especially with Saints not looking in the best of form. By the way guys, if you didn't know, Southampton lost midweek to Brentford 2-0. So Southampton is not in good form, and Hassan Hutel was very, very angry with his players. He says they lack fitness, they didn't come sharp for pre-season and all that stuff. So I think Southampton is struggling at the moment, guys, a little bit. FPL for Life says, will Ake start? I think Ake is going to start against Wolves because Laporte is kind of Pep Guardiola said Laporte is not going to play. So I think Ake probably could start against Wolves, but long term, if they are going for Koulibaly, I think Ake is going to be a backup to Laporte and Koulibaly. I don't think he's going to start ahead of neither Koulibaly, neither Laporte. That's my opinion. Magician says, how many weeks can we transfer stack? So we can stack transfer for 2 weeks. After that, it gets lost, my friend. John Wick says, already Ings to Martial, thinking of doing habits to James or Mahrez. I'm not sure with Mahrez, although Pep says he could start, but Mahrez is always a little bit, dubious, and against a difficult opponent in Wolves, I wouldn't do Mahrez. Possibly James if you want. If you think James created 5 chances from open play, but do you think he's going to score lots of goals? Also, by the way guys, I just want to know from all of you, I've done my research, I can't make out who's going to be taking penalties for Everton. If you know, please let me know. I did my research. From what I know, Sigurdsson used to take them, but he doesn't play regularly anymore, and I'm not sure who's taking penalties for Everton anymore. So if you know guys, just let me know. Really appreciate that. What do you think about Doucouré and Podence? I think they are both fantastic options. By the way guys, do you know, James created 5 chances against Tottenham, and everybody's raving about James Rodriguez. Doucouré guys, he created 4 chances as well, and nobody's talking about him. He's a box-to-box midfielder, he has an eye for goal as well, so 5.5, could be a decent option. Although I'm not gonna go for him, but, just putting it out there. Justin says James or Richarlison, Aqua says James or Richarlison, Magician says Richarlison. That's interesting guys. If Richarlison starts taking penalties along with the type of performance he had against Spurs, he could become a very, very valuable asset, to be honest. Lincoln says, will Werner take penalties for Chelsea? I think he could. With Jorginho injured, I think Werner could be a really good shout to take the penalties. I think that's a good one. Hang on guys, let me have a drink of water please. Okay, I'm back. So, John Wick says Richarlison or James, since James is number 1 for Colombia, plus Ancelotti's favorite. Yeah, that could be it. I mean, if James takes penalties, that would make him a very good fantasy asset. But what I think about Everton, are there too many players in Everton who actually realistically dribble too much and win penalties? Like Manchester United, they've got Martial, Rashford, even Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes. They've got players who actually dribble and win penalties. Everton have got like Richarlison who dribbles in the box. Other than that, I don't think too many players. There are too many. Excuse me, voice crack. Holy shit, sorry. So I don't think there are too many players who actually, dribble in the box, winning a penalty. So it could be a little bit difficult to understand. Lewis Martin says, actually unpopular opinion, but I think Dean will replace Sigurdsson on pens. Guys, if Luca Dean starts taking penalties, that would be a thing of FPL dreams, innit? I mean, he already takes beautiful free kicks. He got 12 points in Gameweek 1. If he starts taking penalties, wow, that would be awesome. Justin says Carroll as a 5.5 million defender. Is that meant to be a joke, my friend? Yeah, he does defend set pieces pretty well, but to be honest with you, Knight Maxima or better 5.5 Magician from Game Week 3, I would say Daniel Podence is a very good option. Magician, yeah, I don't think Andy Carroll is going to play too much. As soon as Ryan Fraser comes back into the team, or comes into the team for that matter, I think Carroll is the first one who's going to drop out. I think Wilson, the way he played, he cemented his place in Newcastle. So not for me. Harsh says, which game week are you planning to use your wildcard? Harsh, I was actually contemplating using it in this game week as well, today evening, but I decided against it for the moment. But if I do, I'll probably make a video tomorrow, right? So after this live stream, I'm gonna contemplate about my team and decide. I'm happy with my team, don't get me wrong, but I just have to make final decisions, you know, I can't let them linger for too long. So I'll keep you guys updated, right? If I don't use it this game week, then probably I'm just going to go up to game week 6, 7, 8 before I use it, you know. FPL for life says it will be Dean or Rodriguez. Absolutely. I think that's right. Buckshot says, when will you decide your team for game week 2? Buckshot, I think tonight before I go to sleep, I'm gonna make up my mind about what I'm gonna do with my team, and then tomorrow, guys, there's gonna be another live stream before the deadline, 1 hour before the deadline. Make sure you're here, set your reminders. That's where I'm going to do my team reveal, and I'm also going to take your last minute questions, your doubts and everything. So remember to be here 1 hour before the deadline as well tomorrow. Lincoln says, if we are getting more points in defense than midfield or forward, so why not spend in defense? Lincoln, that's right, but you have a data that's worth just one game week, right? Reece James scored a free goal, you know, and he took a corner from which Zuma scored a free goal. Is he going to do that every week? I mean, when Hakim Ziyech comes back, I don't think James is going to take any corners, and he's not going to score outside the box every week. So, you know, the sample size is too small for us to make up our mind. Danforth says Podence is a rotation risk, but if Diogo Jota goes to Liverpool, Danforth, I don't think he's a rotation risk. You know, I think he's going to start, and he could start for that matter, right? Javed says, how about Bruno as captain? Javed, I actually made my list, and I actually categorized them on the basis of what I think is my best order. I placed Aubameyang on first, I placed Martial on second, and Bruno on third for this game week. I think Lincoln meant like Robertson versus Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, no, I understand what I think he talking about people like Sias and you know, under 7 million. Yeah, I know. I understand, Lincoln. I'm sorry. I think I misunderstood your question, but you know, I'm still saying we should wait and watch. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin you think is a good option, I think you should go for him. Defense, there are very few defenders who actually score over 150 points, right? But there are, you know, in forwards, I think there are many good options this season. I think Wilson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, all these guys, they're gonna score over 150 points this season. They're looking really good, you know. I'm sorry, I actually misunderstood your question. Danforth says McCarthy, Trent, Justin, Doherty, Salah, Maxima, Barnes, James, Aubameyang, Jimenez, Werner, Martial, Mitrovic. The brackets are expected transfer considering a hit. I mean, you know, guys, there have been a lot of questions tonight asking me Werner to Martial. This is one transfer which I cannot say yes or no, because it's a long-term thing, right? They're both good players, they're both gonna get good points, right? So this is one thing which I cannot make up your mind for. Martial is, in my opinion, if you ask me, in game week 2, I think Martial is gonna get more points than Werner in game week 2. Long term, I think both are good options, right? So, you know, you have to make up your mind about that. Everton is rebranded Captain Calvert-Lewin. I don't think Calvert-Lewin justified with his performance. I don't think he justified being captained, but I think he did justify being in the team. I don't think he justified being captained, you know. Maybe being in the team, yes, he did, because he just took 2 shots, right? And he scored 1 goal, right? He got 2 bonus points and stuff. But captaincy deserves, you know, he deserves to have better stats to be captained. Shalinder says, Please guys, like and subscribe and share the stream to support Wiz. There you go. There's my boy. Thank you so much, Chilinder, for the shout out. I really appreciate it. My friends, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't liked the video, like it. And if you wanna follow me on Twitter, you can see my Twitter handle on the screen. And if you want to join our beautiful, pleasant, and polite Discord community, the link is in the description. Do join and join in the fun. Aditya says, thoughts on McCarthy, Trent, Egan, Doherty, Kyle Walker-Peters, Mitchell, Salah, Fernandes, Aubameyang. I think that's a good team, my friend. I think you're all set for game week 2. Not an issue. Buckshot says, this is the beauty of football. Anything happens in fantasy football. Skills, luck, and uncertainties. Honestly, guys, this is a game which is based on luck as well. Let's not take that out of the equation, right? So, for example, if I had Captain Salah, I would have had 13 more points than I have right now, and I would be possibly considering taking a couple of hits because I was ahead of the curve. But small decisions, luck makes a lot of difference in this game. I'm not saying it doesn't take skill, but this game isn't purely based on skill. Just remember that. So before you rage on your decisions, before you become too angry about things, remember guys, it's a game and it requires some luck. You can see my best overall rank, guys. It was 500, right? And let me divert a little. Let me tell you a small story, right? How I got that rank was I was actually falling in rank and I made an aggressive decision in 2018-19. Lacazette was playing at home to Huddersfield and I took a hit. I brought in Lacazette and I thought I'm going to captain Lacazette. Salah was playing against Bournemouth away, but I thought no, I'm going to captain the player who plays at home. So I brought in Lacazette for a hit and I thought I captained him. What happened was I was on a live stream. I forgot to confirm my captaincy, and by accident the captaincy stayed on Salah and not on Lacazette. And you know what happened? Lacazette blanked. He was substituted at halftime and Salah went on to score a hat-trick. 21 points, guys. If that's not luck and that's not FPL for you right there, I don't know what is. All the logic sometimes doesn't work. Luck does. That's a small story for you right there, friends. I hope you like that. Alright, back to the questions. I see a lot of that. Christian says Ryan, Trent, Justin, Walker-Peters, Salah, Auba, Harrison, Maxima, Ings, Werner, Wilson. That's a pretty decent team, my friend. If you can do Ings to Martial, I think that would be better. But your squad looks good. Harrison is good for this game week, but for the coming game weeks, Harrison might not be that good. Leeds have some difficult fixtures. Melly Babbitt says great story. Lincoln says wow. Mike says wow, crazy. Buckshot says great story. Visit. Absolutely, guys. I never, I'm doing videos on FPL and I do live streams. I talk and I never pretend that I'm an expert on this game. I never pretend that you don't need luck on this game. I'm just an enthusiast of this game, just like all of you, right? Only thing is I do some graphics and stuff and I have this channel, but in the end I'm an enthusiast. If somebody claims to be an expert at this game, I just think, they're just taking away the element of luck, which we need. Of course, there are amazing players. There are much, much better players than me, but we need an element of luck. Just saying. Lincoln says, are you Indian? Yes, Lincoln. I am an Indian. I live in India, yeah. Of course. Dylan says, hey man, Son to Hamis and Inks to Martial. -4 hit. I don't have the money in the bank. That's a good move, my friend. It's just that I'm scared if Son scores against Southampton. That's the only thing I'm doubting about. Otherwise, these moves are really good. I actually really think they're both good moves. But if you can keep Son and kind of get 0.5 from somewhere else, I would do that. Otherwise, that's a good move, Dylan. Just don't blame me if Son goes on and bangs against Southampton, because Southampton are not really in a good form. Magician says who's on penalties for Newcastle? That's an interesting question, guys. Why aren't we not aware of who was it? Richie last year? I think it was Richie, right? This year I'm not so sure who's gonna be it because Wilson doesn't take penalties. For Bournemouth, Josh King used to take them. For Newcastle, last year it was Richie. This year, God knows. Not so sure, my friend. Javed says, rate my team. Javed, just give me a second. I'll answer a couple of questions, then I'll come back and rate your team. Mike says, no, they're a bit similar priced, and I don't know how to pick. I'm not so sure. Mike, about your question, can you please ask again? John says, any updates on Brewster? No updates on Brewster as of now. If we get any updates, I'll let you know. But for now, not. FPL Integrity. Hey, FPL Integrity, welcome to the live stream. Hey guys, FPL Integrity has an FPL channel too. He's also starting out, so guys, do check him out. He has really wonderful content as well on this channel. Javed says, I have Steer, Strujic on the bench. Alright, let's check out your team, my friend. McCarthy, Robertson, Justin, Mitchell, Aubameyang, Salah, Bruno, KDB, Saint Maxima, Mitrovic and Adams. I think you're set for Game Week 2, my friend. Although there are a couple of players I would update in the coming game weeks, but for Game Week 2 I think you're fine, my friend. You're welcome, FPL Integrity. Welcome, my friend. Mike says, sorry I was replying to someone. Alright, I get it. Thabo says, Saint Maxima. He's fine. I think, yeah, he had an injury scare. I think in the EFL Cup he kind of, he hurt his foot. But after the game, Steve Bruce said he's gonna be fine, so I wouldn't be too worried about Saint Maxima. Christian says, forget not to hit that like button, champs, and to subscribe also. Guys, I'd listen to Christian. Thank you so much for the shout out, my friend. Peter says, who do you think has the highest point ceiling? Also, who do you think will score the most points this season? Peter, that's a very good question. The highest point ceiling, I honestly feel I think Kevin De Bruyne has a very high ceiling, because if Aguero's not playing, he's on penalties, right? And if he's on penalties, he's on free kicks, corners, and he can get assists from open play and goals as well. He has a very, very high ceiling, just because the way the number of ways he has to get FPL points is just amazing. So I just feel Kevin De Bruyne. And this season, it's very hard to say because I haven't seen how Manchester City play and how they start the season. But if Manchester City are sharp and they're doing really well, I still feel that this season Kevin De Bruyne could be the one to get the maximum points. If they don't, then I'm just taking, a kind of a punt. But I think Aubameyang could be one to score lots of points this season. He scored a new deal. He's happy. Arteta is getting Arsenal to play in a system. Aubameyang seems happy scoring goals. I think he can score lots of points this season. Tabo says, thanks bro. You're welcome, Tabo. Always welcome, my friend. Syed says, Havertz to Grealish and Vinagre to Dean. To be honest with you, I haven't even thought about Grealish, Syed. He's never even crossed my mind once. So at 7 million, you can go for Harvey Barnes. If you want, you can go for Grealish, but since Aston Villa haven't started the season, I'm not so sure how he's gonna play. But if you're confident about Grealish, I think these moves make sense because Vinagre is not going to start. Magician says KDB or Bruno. You mean for this game week, my friend, or for the season? Please let me know. Peter says good answers. Yeah, of course, man. I try my best. Peter says most overhyped player who just joined the Premier League. From Game Week 1 performance, Kai Havertz. But guys, I'm telling you, he's a wonderful player. Don't get me wrong, I'm just joking, right? He didn't look really good in Game Week 1. He made that misplaced pass which is all over Twitter, right? But he's a wonderful player, guys. Let Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic come back and let Chelsea team gel. You'll see the brilliance of Kai Havertz. He makes those late runs in the box just like Aaron Ramsey used to do for Arsenal. He's gonna be brilliant for Chelsea. Danforth says Salah, king of FPL. Go and watch that video of Salah and Liverpool teammates talking about FPL. Yeah, I think Salah is always in for a shout, right? The last 3 seasons he's been up there, so no reason why he can't do it again. And he was looking really sharp in the game against Leeds. So yeah, Salah is definitely a great shout. Harry Kane says SJ. If you're talking about the maximum points, definitely not. The way Spurs are playing, they almost lost to a Bulgarian side in the Europa League qualifiers. I don't think there's any chance for Harry Kane to be the topmost point scorer, my friend. Jashan says 5.5 midfielder other than Saint Maxima. Jashan, you can go for Podence of Wolves. I think he's a decent option since Diogo Jota is going to Liverpool. I think Podence is going to be nailed on. I think he's a fantastic option. Very good. Lincoln, the answer is in the same for you, my friend. Peter says, would you rather have Lingard in your team or Ozil? Wow, that's that's such a bad choice. But I don't think I don't think I have either of them. I don't think Ozil is gonna start. Neither is Lingard. So it won't make a difference. I'd rather have a 4.5 million midfielder, my friend. Magician says Bruno or KDB long term. Out of these two, long term, I'd go for KDB. Although it's slightly, it's a very difficult question. It's like a catch 22 because I'd want both of them. If you're making a team for long term, Bruno and KDB should both be on your team because they're both gonna score points. Why do we need to choose one, my friend? So go for both. But if I had to choose one, I'd go KDB just because of his pedigree and because I like him so much. I'm waiting for Sancho would be a brilliant FPL asset, says Tony. Of course. If he comes to United gonna be a force to reckon with. No doubt, my friend. Not at all. Peter says, I meant if you were forced to have one of them, then I'd have Ozil. I'll definitely go for Ozil. I'm an Arsenal fan, right? So that's how I'll make my decisions. As I always say in my videos, you should never let your team influence your decisions. But I just did, guys. Sorry, just let me have that one. Alright, guys. So, I think we've already been streaming for 1 hour, guys. I don't know how time passes. It's like we're in a time chamber, and whenever I talk about FPL to you, and it's just I don't realize how much time has passed. Magician says, can't choose both because I've got Aubameyang and Salah. No issues, my friend. Choose Bruno this week. Go and get Kevin De Bruyne for Aubameyang next game week in game week 3. You can have both in the next game week. Lincoln says, one question, brother, why you shifted on a new channel from the previous one? Lincoln, the Football Wizards was a channel which belonged to two of us, right? Me and my friend had to move to another country, so I decided that I don't want to run that alone. So I decided I'm going to start a new one and just build a new community, and that is the reason, my friend. Life doesn't always, go the way you plan, so he actually had to migrate, and I also decided to migrate to a new channel. That's it. Avishka says, stick or twist with Kane. In this game week, stick, definitely. He's playing against Southampton. Southampton lost to Brentford 2-0. I mean, Kane is definitely a good shout for this game week. Avishka, definitely. Jashan says, Mane or Kevin De Bruyne. Jashan, 100% Kevin De Bruyne. Peter Cruz says, I like the name FPL Wizard. I like the name too. I actually have lots of friends who are wizards. Have you ever heard of Gandalf, my friends? He's a friend of mine. Have you ever heard about Dumbledore? He's also a friend of mine. Guys, I'm in good company, innit? Although not good FPL company, but yeah, good company. Alright, no more wizard references. Peter says, hyperbolic time chamber. Look, there goes the Dragon Ball Z reference, friends. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Dragon Ball Z is a wonderful anime. Alright, guys, see, now we're rambling. We need to move on. Shalinder says, I'm a Radagast fan. There you go, Radagast the Brown. Guys, we've got some Lord of the Rings fans in here. I know a guy who looks like Gandalf. Absolutely, that's fantastic. But anyways, guys, we're here to talk about FPL. Let's actually talk about FPL a little bit. So, my friends, about my team, I just want to tell you a little bit. I had a couple of plans which are now actually down in the dumps because Salah scored a hat-trick, but the plan in after game week 1 was to move on Salah and get Bruno Fernandes, but that doesn't seem to work. So I'm probably going to work on my team a little bit. I'm not actually totally set. I'm not going to use the wildcard. I possibly might use it. It's at the back of my mind. but I'll keep you updated anyways. Whatever I do about my team, you'll have the updates. I'll either make a video. Of course, I'm going to live stream tomorrow 1 hour before the deadline. I'll be answering your questions. I'll be giving you answers about why I chose certain players and whatever. So do be here 1 hour before the deadline tomorrow as well. Javed says, what about Harry from FPL Tips? Javed, I don't understand your question. What about him? He's he's a fantastic person. He's a really nice person. He's got an FPL channel as well, and yeah, I like him. Yeah, of course. Avishka says replace Mitrovic. Avishka, if you can, I'd probably go for Wilson over Mitrovic. Although long term I think Mitrovic can do well, but I'm just not too satisfied by the way Fulham played against Arsenal. They were really appalling, right? I think we all watched the game. Fulham looked really dead on their feet. I mean, I was deciding even after the Arsenal game, we should target Fulham. We should make anybody who's playing Fulham like captain. That's how I was thinking about Fulham after just one match against Arsenal. They were looking absolutely appalling because they haven't made good purchases. They went and bought keepers and stuff, right? They need Premier League players. They haven't bought many. So captain anybody who plays Fulham. That's your mantra right there, my friends. Sorry, excuse me. Shri Krishna says, what about Rashford? I think Rashford is a good option. Is he worth 9.5 over Bruno's 10.5 or Martial 9 million? I'm not so sure, but I think he's a good asset. Not a problem with that. Lincoln says, Werner and Wilson or Mitrovic and Vardy? Werner and Wilson for me, Lincoln. I trust City and Liverpool midfield. I mean, what's there not to trust in City and Liverpool, Peter? I think we all trust them, but I think this season, the United midfield looks really, really, tasty. Greenwood, a midfielder, Rashford, a midfielder, Bruno Fernandes, Donny van de Beek. In FPL as well, looks pretty good. Naman says we'll be there tomorrow, buddy. Thank you so much, Naman. I really appreciate you supporting the channel. Javed says I'll be viewing you tomorrow morning before the game. Thank you so much, Javed. I really appreciate it. I know there's lots of big YouTubers streaming as well. So, if you still come to my stream, guys, I really appreciate that. It means really a lot to me. Ben Dover says, my team is McCarthy, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Justin, Walker-Peters, Davies, Salah, Aubameyang, Saint Maxima, Fernandes, Nitro Ice. That's a pretty good player. That's actually Mitrovic, right? Werner. I think that's a pretty good team, Ben. Nothing needed to be done. Pratik says, I took a -4 hit for Fernandes and Martial, removing Son and Kane for a long dividend in the future. Pratik, if you've already made the move, I think that's a good move. Do not look behind. The players are gone and we need to move forward. And yes, I think they're good moves. Maybe not for this game week, I think Kane and Son could score against Southampton, but long term I think they're good moves. Definitely. Shivansh says, the message has been retracted, sorry. Gideon says, how many goals do you think Aubameyang will score tomorrow? Gideon, it's very hard for me to kind of, say how many goals he's going to score, but I think he can score a couple of goals. He doesn't score many hat-tricks, Aubameyang, so, the maximum that he can score tomorrow is 2. But guys, I have to warn you all of you, this is a disclaimer of all of you, for all of you who are going to captain Aubameyang. Last season, West Ham was the team that Aubameyang did not score against at the Emirates. So that's a disclaimer for all of you. Just be careful about that, alright? Aubameyang did not score against West Ham. He did score a goal against them away from home, but not at home. So that's a disclaimer. Surfrose says, anyone good to replace Alan St. Maxima? Surfrose, at the moment I'm thinking Daniel Podence could be a good option. I think he can be a good option. Avishka says, Shaw in as a 5 million defender. I think so. I think Shaw is a very good option. And I was wanting to get him in my team, but I couldn't find a way to do it. So that's the reason I didn't. But I think Shaw is a very good option. Not a problem with that. Everybody's praising the plan of Magician. I need to have a look. What's his plan? Surfro says, thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Javed says, we appreciate that what you do. I know it's very late in India. Thank you so much, Javed. Actually, you should have seen my last stream. I did the aftermath. I started after the Chelsea game. It was like 2:30 a.m. and I streamed till 4:30 in the morning. I literally was half asleep on my keyboard. That was a crazy stream. But when you have an FPL channel, you're dedicated to your subscribers. You gotta do this stuff, my friend. And I enjoy doing it. Guys, don't get me wrong. You need two good captain choices that will finish 220 plus points. Yeah, that's true. That's true. In your team, guys, of course you're gonna have Kevin De Bruyne, right? You're gonna have Kevin De Bruyne, Salah. I mean, that's. I'll tell you my strategy for playing this game. I've slightly tinkered about my strategy in this game, and I'll tell you what I'm doing this season. I'm going to focus on my captains this season so much that I'm going to actually plan my transfers according to who I want to captain that game week. I've made a list of captains, right? Which player do I want to captain in which game week? And I'm going to analyze, of course, as the season goes on. I'm going to analyze the form, I'm going to watch the matches, I'm going to see the stats, but the focus is going to be on the captaincy as to who I want to captain in that game week, and I'm going to bring that player in. I'm going to plan ahead of the curve. And guys, just want to tell you one thing. If you get your captaincy right, even if you had the worst game week of your life and you get your captaincy right, you'll get a green arrow. And that is the most important thing in FPL, captaincy. Just hear me out, right? So, that's my opinion. That's how I'm going to play the season. Focus on captaincy, get maximum captain points, make a strong team. Guys, you'll be up there. Don't worry about it. How it says, my goodness. Yeah, that's it, my friend. I did, but it was very hard one to do. Gideon says, are you planning to transfer in Martinez from Villa for Aaron Ramsdale? My strategy about keepers, guys, is that I never transfer a keeper out during the season unless I'm using a wild card, right? So if I'm on a wild card, I'm gonna transfer my keeper out. If not, I'm gonna stick with the keeper I selected in game week 1. So I selected Ramsdale. He's gonna be my keeper until I use my wildcard. Views on Sias. Jashan, I think Sias is a wonderful option in FPL. 5 million, scores goals. Wolves gonna have really good. Wolves have really good fixtures starting game week 3. No reason not to bring in Sias. I like him very much. Krishna says Rashford or James Rodriguez. Actually, Krishna, I think there's a discrepancy in the money they cost, right? Rashford is 9.5, James is 7.5. It's very hard to compare them two, but if I had to select one, I would go for Rashford. Peter says Jashan, after game week 3, he's my highest priority. After game week 2, guys, who's my highest priority? It's gonna be Jimenez. I think Jimenez is gonna be great, guys. He's looking so sharp. Look at the fixtures, guys. Hang on, let me show you the Wolves fixtures. Unfortunately, I don't have any Wolves players in my team. Why don't I have any Wolves players in my team? What was I doing? That was crazy planning in before game week 1 I did. Dang it, guys. Why didn't you stop me? Anyways, so guys, look at these fixtures. Jimenez is going to be my priority, guys. I have to bring in Jimenez in game week 3. That is the reason. Let me tell you, honestly, today evening I was thinking about using my wildcard. One of the reasons at back of my mind was I could not make a transfer plan to fit Jimenez into my team. And that is the reason I was planning to use my wildcard all this time, because I want a Wolves defender, I want Podence, and I want Jimenez for game week 3. And I couldn't do that. That's the reason I was planning to use my wildcard. I told you guys, dang it. This way you're gonna have all my thinking. But anyways, there you go. West Ham, Fulham, Leeds, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. 5 goals for Jimenez in these games, I say. What do you say, guys? 5 goals? More or less? I think Jimenez is going to score at least 4 or 5 goals in these games. Get Jimenez in, my friends. So, that's my opinion. What are we saying about Ollie Watkins, says Sean. Sean, I think Ollie Watkins is a wait and watch in my opinion. Fantastic striker in the championship. Not sure about Premier League. Let's wait and watch and see how he does, and then we're gonna bring him in. Lincoln says, I usually never subscribe YouTube channels, but you are in my list because your explanation is too good. I really appreciate your comment, Lincoln. These are the kind of comments I do YouTube for, I do FPL for. When I get this kind of appreciation, I just want to give more and more. So friends, when I say more, my Discord link is in the description. If you want more FPL interactions, I am going to be in the Discord chat as well, and there are many other helpful people in the chat, and you get latest news, transfer news, injury news, all this stuff. So if you're on Discord, of course, if you're afraid of using Discord, just like I was a few weeks ago, you should probably just, pick up your phone and join our channel. Possibly it'll make you accustomed to Discord, because I was so scared of using it, guys. But new age technologies, we need to kind of move on with the times, right? So we are on Discord. If you want, you can join me there. If not, I'm on Twitter at WizFPL. You can follow me there for FPL banter, for discussions, and some more added fun. So yeah, there I said it, guys. Matea says, what do you think about my team? Pickford, Button. Pickford I think is a good option. At 5 million, I think at the moment he might even be the best. So that's good. Defense is Size, Dean, Justin, Mitchell, James. James must be Reece James. So there's a glaring omission, of course, in a Liverpool defender, but of course I don't think they're one of the most essential at this moment, so I think that's fine. Bruno, KDB, Salah, Harrison, Alzate. That's fine, but over Alzate I would pick Bissouma. He looked really good in the game against Chelsea. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Martial, Bamford. I think, Matea, you're trusting Leeds too much. Actually, I would really want to have Leeds defender in Ayling or Dallas, but you're actually going for their midfield and striker. If it was for me, I would replace Harrison with Bodens, and maybe I would replace Bamford with somebody else, and I would actually go for Ayling or Dallas. That's my opinion about that. Do you think Justin at Leicester is going to keep his place? I think Justin at Leicester is going to keep his place for 5 or 6 more game weeks, because today we heard that Ricardo has had a setback in his recovery, and that makes Justin at least nailed on for 6 more game weeks. Could Bissouma be a good option at 4.5, says Volley? I think he's one of the best options at 4.5. The way he was playing against Chelsea, I was very interested, and I was very happy that I have him in my team on the bench. He's not going to miss any games. I think he's a very good option at 4.5. Ajaya is in the stream. Welcome, Ajaya. Love to have you in the stream, my friend. Javed says, I'm going with you this year to try and win my mini league. Placed at 75k last season and won a 50k. Javed, all I can say, my friend, is I'm going to try my best. I'm going to have a look at all the stats. I watch all the games, and I will give you my best of opinions. And, using the same technique that I used, I got to 500 rank. So why not? I can just try my best. That's all I can promise, my friends. So, yeah. Ajay says, I have Sil Dele Alli in my team. Should I remove him for James Rodriguez or Greenwood? I think Dele Alli is done, guys. I think he has a problem with Mourinho or something, There's something going on, something broken in Tottenham. I just can't place my finger on it, but there is something that's going on at Spurs, And Dele Alli was substituted at halftime. And what does Mourinho tell us? He says it was a tactical substitution because we needed dynamism in the midfield. I mean, is it a joke? I mean, he transferred out Dele Alli and he brings in Sissoko, who's much less dynamic than Dele Alli. It's just crazy. I don't know what's going on at Spurs, but I don't think he's going to play, my friend. But I would suggest you to wait on Mourinho's press conference. Peter says, Justin is not leaving my team. Definitely, my friend. Just keep him. 4.5, not a problem. Danford says, remember when I told you in the previous live stream that Jimenez will outscore Ings despite his first 2 tough fixtures? Danforth, you are an oracle, my friend. I'm gonna ask you for some of my decisions, definitely. Yeah, I know you said that. But Ings had a really good chance. If Gaita wouldn't have made that save, Gaita was on fire, guys. In that Crystal Palace game, Southampton, Che Adams could have scored a goal. Danny Ings could have scored a goal. Kyle Walker-Peters could have had an assist. But god damn it, when Vicente Gaita was on fire. He was so good. That's the reason Jimenez outscored him. Otherwise, I think Danny Ings could have had a goal. So, Lincoln says always pick a keeper from the most weak defense because he will get save points. Yeah, that's one way of thinking about things, my friend, and not a bad way to think about things as well. If you're going for cheap keepers, might as well go for a Fulham keeper, guys. They're gonna concede a lot of goals, and he's gonna stop a lot of shots, and save points gonna come. By the way, guys, this guy Johnston, the West Brom keeper, he just doesn't look like he's gonna ever save a penalty, right? The Vardy penalties, he looked so bad. So bad. If he would have saved one penalty, it would have been so awesome. Hey FPL Penguin, welcome to the live stream. Guys, FPL Penguin also has an FPL channel, so just in case you want, after the stream, please go check him out. He does work really hard and has an excellent channel as well. He says thoughts on Watkins, scored versus Manchester United in a friendly, and scored versus Burton in the Cup too. FPL Penguin, I just like to kind of wait and watch with Ollie Watkins. Scoring in a friendly is fine, but I think making the step up from Championship to Premier League is going to be a little hard. So I think we should wait and watch and not straight away and not bring him into our teams. That's my opinion on that. Naman says you could look on Klish in case of Harrison. Klish is on penalties for Leeds. Yeah, I mean Harrison and Klish are both. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but Klish or Click, whatever you want to call him, I think they are both good options. The problem with Leeds is there is not a talisman in their team. Like Mitrovic is the talisman for Fulham, right? For Leeds, all of them are going to chip in with goals and assists and stuff. So it's very hard to pick a player from Leeds. That's the reason I just went for kind of their defenders, which were the most solid. Krishna says best replacement for Pulisic at this moment, my friend. If you can, if you can get some more money, of course I would like to move to a Manchester United like Bruno Fernandes or somebody like that. But at 8.5, you could downgrade him to Jimenez or not Jimenez, James or Greenwood. So yeah, that could be an option. Penguin says thank you, Wizard. You're welcome, my friend. Hansen says is Bruno a must-have? As I always say, Hansen, there is no player in FPL which is a must-have, but one Manchester United player against Crystal Palace would be desirable, especially because many people are going to own them, and if you don't have them and they kind of bang Crystal Palace, then that's going to affect your rank. But must-have, of course not. Of course not. Peter says, where's that guy who kept saying McBurney was gonna haul? He's not in the live stream today, but yeah, I'm waiting for him to say. Oh my god, it was so crazy, right? He said McBurney's gonna score how many goals? 25. That's crazy, right? But I'm gonna give him a shout out if he does, definitely. Hansen says you are a genius, bro. Thanks, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm not sure why you're saying that, but thank you so much. Lincoln says, do you have your FPL league? Yes, Lincoln, I had a league, but it is now closed. I actually closed it after Game Week 1 because I want everybody to have a fair chance to actually join my league before Game Week 1. I wanted everybody to have a fair chance, so I actually closed the entry. I might actually do another league. If I do, I put the link in the description and tell you on my vids as well. Saleh says, so are you sticking with Arnold? Saleh, I think it's it's being a little hard on Trent Alexander-Arnold because we spent the entire summer, not in the entire summer, but the short preseason, saying how essential he was, how amazing he was. At 7.5 million, you cannot get another player who can get you as much points as Trent Alexander-Arnold. And one bad game, and we all look to kind of have doubts about him. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep him, but I don't think, as I just said to Hansen, nobody's essential, right? If I think my team structure is getting affected and I can get better value elsewhere, I might move him on, but for now I'm gonna keep him. Ajay says, what about Egan? Is Manchester United asset essential this week? I have no one from United, which scares me a lot. Well guys, let's all buy a sofa, right? And watch the Manchester United game from behind a sofa, and we hope that United don't score too much against Palace, and then we have free transfers next week and we can do whatever we want. Or we can just knee-jerk and take hits and bring in United players. Yeah guys, no, I don't think anybody's essential, but it would be desirable to have one Manchester United asset for sure. Definitely. I think one United asset would be a good idea. I thought about doing Werner to Martial move, and I'm still thinking about it. And guys, I'm also thinking about using my wildcard. That's at the back of my mind. The main reason I just told you is that I want Wolves assets in game week 3. I want Jimenez, I want Saiz, I want Podence, and then I want Kevin De Bruyne. I want a Manchester United asset. It's kind of it was all kind of fixed for me. Move Salah on, get Bruno Fernandes, move Aubameyang, get KDB, take a hit, bring Jimenez in place of Adams. I had all the plan in my mind, but just Salah's performance against Leeds has turned my mind, and I just don't want to sell Salah. And all the plans have gone to gone away, and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm just thinking, guys, and I'll let you know whatever I make up my mind. Priyan says who to captain between Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, I guess Martial and Werner. Out of these, I would go for Martial, Priyan. That's my opinion about that. Ben says Kane and Pulisic for Rodriguez and Richarlison. I guess that's a good move, Ben. But to be honest with you, if you can keep Kane for this game week, that would not be the worst of decision. Reason being, Southampton are as appalling as I've seen them, and Kane can score against them. Danforth says leaving, will be back soon. Danforth, I'm not so sure how long I'm going to be streaming for today, but if I'm here, most welcome to come back, my friend. Saleh says thank you so much, bro. Just 2 more questions. Will Kane be good for a long run, and what do you think of Leeds? Will they do great? My friend, Kane is a solid option, right? He's not at this moment in time, the way Spurs are playing, he's not an outstanding option, but he's a solid option. He's going to keep you taking over. It's not that he's not going to score goals. He's going to score goals. If you want, you can keep him. But think of the value. 10.5 stuck on Kane. That's the thing, you can get better value elsewhere. You should move on Kane, but not this game week. Just listen to me, not this game week. And Lincoln says if you're getting 200 points in 7.5 Trent Alexander-Arnold, so why not? Of course, mate. That's why I'm advocating keeping Trent Alexander-Arnold for now. If I think he's out of form, or he's kind of just blatantly costing me elsewhere in my team, I might move him on. In my team, nobody has a fixed place, guys. Just that's kind of where I'm at. I can sell anyone and everyone. I try to stick with my team. I'm always patient with my transfers, but I just do not love my players that much. That's always gonna keep them, no matter how they're performing, right? So yeah. Lee says captain for this game week, my friend. My captain is Aubameyang. Definitely 100%. No doubts about that. Even if I had Martial in my team, my captain would still be Aubameyang. Karthik says, when should we transfer out Mitrovic? That's an interesting one. I just think we should give Mitrovic a couple of more chances. And if he still is not performing, because he has had an injury, and also he has a difficult game against Leeds as well. So give him a couple of chances. At 6 million, I think by the end of the season, Mitrovic has the potential to score 10 goals, maybe a couple more, 10 to 12 goals a season. Not bad for a 6 million striker at all. So, you spend so much time deciding your team before game week 1. There is a reason you put Mitrovic in your team. You can trust him for a couple of more game weeks and see how it goes. Kair says your FPL code. Kair, I just don't remember my FPL code. Maybe in the next live stream I'm gonna bring it. I'll let you know, my friend. Ashraf says, what's your opinion in picking Vardy and Bruno and transfer out Mane and Werner and take a -4 hit? For this game week, I would get Martial and Bruno. If you wanna take a hit, take Martial and Bruno, because Vardy has a difficult game. Guys, remember, he's playing against Burnley. Do you know how many clean sheets Burnley had last game week? Last season, they had 15 clean sheets. That's beyond crazy, guys. Nick Pope, 4.5 million keeper, he had 15 clean sheets. So it's not the easiest of game for Vardy. I think Martial has an easier game as compared to Vardy. So in my opinion, I'd go for Martial. Sure, Kier. Oh, you mean my league code? Kayor, my league is closed. I have actually closed my league because, for everybody who joined before Game Week 1, I've closed my league. Since many of you are asking, my subscribers, I probably start another league. So whenever I make a plan, I'll definitely let you know. Should we trust Sheffield United defenders? And Peter says, do you think Sterling is being overlooked? I personally think he could be the highest scorer this season. Peter, I think, just like me, many other people might have thought about, one midfield place for City. I've decided that in my team, there's a place for only one premium City midfielder. And if I had to pick one premium City midfielder, I would, like 100 times out of 100, I would go for De Bruyne over Sterling. But that's my nature, that's the way I play the game. So for me, I just feel there's more value in Kevin De Bruyne than Sterling, because Sterling has only one way to score a goal, right? How can Sterling score a goal, guys? Open play, he doesn't take penalties, no free kicks, he can't even score a header, for God's sakes. Just open play, but he's really good at that and he gets hauls, right? So that's why people kind of choose him. But for me, Kevin De Bruyne is the man. That's just my opinion about that. Karthik, of course, I think we should trust Sheffield defenders for now. If they have another 4 or 5 bad performances, or 3 or 4 bad performances, that's the time when we should start to get worried. Gideon says, tomorrow Aubameyang legacy continues. Long may it continue, my friend. I would be really happy if Aubameyang scores. If you can't afford Son, would you have Lucas Moura? Guys, it's kind of strange, right? Mourinho seems to trust Lucas Moura so much. He plays him all the time. I just don't know what he sees in Lucas Moura that we don't, I wouldn't go for Lucas Moura personally, because, I think Tottenham overall are not in good form. For 7 million, I would go for Harvey Barnes, or put 0.5 million more, go for James Rodriguez. I just don't think 7 million Lucas Moura is worth it. Jonathan says, yes, Kevin De Bruyne is better than Sterling, no doubt about that. Thank you, Jonathan. That's what I think as well. Karthik says, where do you currently stand in your league? Karthik, I'm maybe 1,000 1,000 places in my league. So yeah, but it's very relatively early in the season. Guys, the wonderful thing, and I really enjoyed it as well, when I got 500 rank in my in the season, I got my 500 rank, right? I was so excited. I was gonna look at my league. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win my league. And then I went to my league and I was 10th in my league. I was like, dang it, all these guys watch my channel. Like, they've got like 200, 150 rank, and the winner of that league was Leahy, his name was Leahy, and I was like watching him. He had like, how much, I don't remember, 150 or 200 rank in the world, and I was like, dang it, man. Like, I couldn't even win my own league when I have 500 in the world. I mean, I was so surprised, but pleasantly surprised, of course. So yeah. Ajay says, just made a transfer, Dele Alli to James Rodriguez. Good luck with it, my friend. Good luck. I think that's a good transfer. Beanie says, do you think Foden will play tomorrow? Beanie, it's very hard for me to say, because it's very hard to judge Pep Guardiola's transfers, my friend. So I'm very sorry, but I can't say. Kair says, did you watch the Spurs series, All or Nothing? Yeah, I did watch it, man. I felt really bad for Mourinho. Watching that series made me want to put 3 Spurs players in my team, but I'm thankful to God I did not, because Spurs look appalling, to be honest with you. I had a little bit of sympathy for Mourinho after watching this series. It's all gone now again. Nothing. James or Son? For this game week, Son could be a good option. If you have Son, don't sell him for James in this game week, Magician. That's my opinion, my friend. So guys, we've already been streaming for 1.5 hours. I'll take a couple of more questions. Please hit like, please subscribe. Guys, if you look at the message on the screen, it says, please help me reach 2,500 subscribers before Game Week 2. I pretty much doubted it will happen, but I still put it out there for you guys to help me and kind of, just hit subscribe if you, if you haven't. So thank you so much for that. Dam says, hello wizard, just joined, keep going. Thank you, Dam. Been going for 1.5 hours. I'm probably gonna stop soon. I don't want my throat fried because I have to do a live stream tomorrow as well. So probably gonna finish soon. Magician says, James or Son? I already gave the answer, I'm sorry. Which loser disliked the video? Uh, mm, I don't mind, guys. Just I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. But no issues, guys. If anybody doesn't like the like the content here, feel free to dislike the video as well. I absolutely appreciate all of you just being here, talking FPL to me. That's all, which means everything to me. So Saleh says, bye bye, bro. See you tomorrow. Bye bye, my friend. Jonathan says, don't worry, I get you. You need a break. Of course, my friend. I just need to be ready for tomorrow because my throat is not the best. So, my friends, I think it's a good time. It's a good time to take a break, and you know I'm gonna come back tomorrow, guys. I actually need some time. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning here in India, but I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna read some stats. I'm gonna make a decision about my team. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, 1 hour before the deadline, guys. I'm gonna live stream, take your questions, take your doubts, and I'm gonna help you. Hero says, I like your content, everything, but not the music. Alright, man. I just don't know what to do about my music. Somebody says they like it, somebody says they don't like it, and I just don't know what to do about it. I just put it at the back because, when I'm not speaking, I just want people to at least, kind of hear something. That's the reason. Ben says, thanks for your content, man. You're welcome, Ben. Thank you so much for being on my live stream. Peter says, I love the music. You see, guys, that's the thing. I just don't know what to do. You just can't win with these things, but I'm gonna keep trying until I satisfy all of you. And one day, we're gonna be streaming here with so many people, and I'm still gonna be answering the same questions about the music. Anyways, guys, so thank you so much for being on my live stream, my friends. If you haven't joined my Discord, the link is in the description. You're welcome to join for a pleasant, polite, nice chat. No rude people there. All good people having fun. So guys, just if you want to join my Discord, the link is in the description, and follow me on Twitter if you want. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow, guys. Don't forget, 1 hour before the deadline, I'm gonna be live streaming. If you have any doubts, have any questions, I'm gonna come with a free mind, making decisions about my team, having nothing on my mind, just free to answer your questions. Come here. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna solve your doubts. We're gonna make sure you have a good game week, guys, and have a good time as well. So take care, my friends, and have a good night. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Take care. FPL Visit signing out. Bye bye. Have a good time. See you.